Alright, last time we started we learned how to do a box with a window and then a hole through it, and how to do a letter, which is an H here, by first drawing the front and drawing our lines back. Today we're going to take a plain box and change it into a couple things by using adding and subtracting on your boxes. So we're going to get started with drawing a box. Please stay away from the horizon line, don't get it too close. That means you should have some space in between the horizon line and the bottom of your square here. So I'm just drawing the front of this image because that's step one. Clean up my edge here a little bit. Next up, I'm going to add the sides to the box. See where I can go back to my vanishing point without drawing over the top of the image. Remember, you can go back as long as you've got it lined up with your vanishing point and your corner some of the way instead of all the way, and saves on some erasing time. Make sure you go back far enough that you want your box to go. I'm going to make this guy kind of skinny, so I'll give it a ½ inch here. And I'm measuring down on each individual corner a certain amount, in this case it's a ½ inch, and placing a dot on each of my 3 lines. Gives me an indication of approximately where my line will go. Now I'm going to line my ruler up and put on the sides of my box. Going to have to fudge this one. I don't get it perfectly in between the two. There we go. I got it sorted, so one's a little bit in front and one's a little bit in back. That's pretty good fudging. I'm going to take it down to the bottom here. And oh, that looks pretty nice. The bottom lines up perfectly with the dot and stuff, so that's good. Alright, so I've got a box, but what if I want it to be another shape? To make it another shape, we need to add or subtract stuff, so I'm going to teach you how to do that today. Let's first start by changing this box into an L for, of course, our school. So here we go. I'm going to take and I'm going to change the front flat part of the box so that it's an L shape. So here you can see I've extended the horizontal line, and I'm going to add another horizontal line and a vertical, depending on how long you want your L to be. And I'm going to erase the stuff inside of it so that this now becomes the overall front shape of my shape that I'm making. See, now it's going to be an L. All right. Now I'm going to go through all these new corners, steps 1 through 4. Step 1 was to change up the front of your image, right? I have. Step 2 is to draw lines back to the vanishing point everywhere you can without drawing over the front of the image, right? Step 3, so I did a ½ inch, so I'll make a ½ inch on my new lines here. And now I'm going to do the bottom of the box. Luckily, my line over here already had a dot on it, so I can just continue that across. Then I can line this guy up here and drag it back, and the 2 line dots I have here work very nicely, and all I have to do is clean up my image so it looks nice. Now, let's take something out of this box. Let's make it not an L. Let's make it a different shape. So on the front of this image, the front L part, I'm going to take a section out, and then I'm going to show you how to make it look like it's in perspective. So I'll line my ruler up so it's horizontal, the same direction as the horizon line, and I'll use it to make 2 horizontal lines and a vertical line, and we'll take a section out. We'll take a chunk out of the box. So I'll take my eraser and I'll erase this section here so it's no longer part of the front. So now we've got like a little CL thing. It's starting to become an odd shape, right? Then I'm going to follow steps 1 through 4 again. Change up the front of the shape. Did that. Go back to my vanishing point on the corners, and look, I can use this last line here, right? Just line up my vanishing point and the corner of my box. I can take it back to there. That part is done. But I have 1, 2, 3 more corners to check. This one I can't do because it would go over the top of my image. We don't want to do that. But I can do this indent. So I'll draw it back. You know it's not going to have to go farther than what you already have. So to stop somewhere around in there is fine. You don't have to go back very far. And my top one looks like I can go back there. So I will take it back. And now I have to measure, right? These two, lucky enough, have already been measured for me because we already have the 1/2 inch. But this third one, the one in the center here, needs to be measured down a 1/2 inch from the corner. That's going to tell me approximately where my other lines. So I've got this dot on here now, and it's telling me that I need a horizontal and a vertical line to clean it up, right? So I'm going to take my ruler, and I am going to pull my ruler down. And if it works out pretty good, yep, I should be really close to this corner and really close to my dot, which I was. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the vertical. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to pull it out to my halfway point, to my point where I'm out there a little ways. And there we go. I've got my vertical line on, and it's the same direction as this one, vertical. And now I'm going to clean it up. You see, I've got a couple little extra lines here I don't need. I took this chunk out. So, maybe this guy would work better. So I don't need that guy anymore, right? I don't need that section there, and I don't need this part coming up to the corner. Now you can see how it's become an odd shape. All right, next up is to just start out with an odd shape. So here we go. I'm going to put an odd shape on the picture. Let's see what we get here. This is fun sometimes. You can feel like you're making some kind of Tetris thing or something. Alright, I'm just making some random shape that has horizontal and vertical lines going on it. Makes no sense whatsoever at all. It's just going to become a one point practice shape, alright? Should give us a little bit of a challenge and get us used to the idea of making sure we measure. There we go. It's on. Now I'm going to start 2. Step 2, remember, is to draw back wherever you can without drawing over the top of your image. So, very quickly, I'm just going to make sure I'm always on my vanishing point and always on the corner. I'm going to 2, but remember, you only do them till you hit the object, right? Then you can wait and do the rest of the corners, checking each corner and each indent as I go along, carefully picking out each corner and checking to make sure if it'll go back to the vanishing point without me drawing over the top of my image. And my last one, it looks like, I think I'll double check the back ones, but I don't think I can get to those. That one would be over the top. This indent would be over top, and so would this guy. But it's always a good idea to check these back ones, because sometimes if you're doing a star or something like that, it will be able to go back part of the way. All right, so here we go. That's step 2. Now I'm going to pick something small. I think I'll pick not quite a 1/2 inch. I think I'll pick something really skinny, a 1/4 inch. And I'll just come along here and put a dot on each one of my lines. This is very important to go from the corner, and on each corner measure in the certain amount. A lot of people don't show you how to do odd shapes like this with this technique because, I don't know, maybe they don't know how to do it or they just wing it and hope it goes well. But this really does help you kind of figure out where your lines need to go. It's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty close. All right, so there we go. I put dots on each one. Now I'm going to copy my lines into the distance. You could start anywhere. I'll just start up here at the top. Do one, drag it down. Came out pretty good for that one. I didn't have to change my angle or anything. All right, coming down. I could do that again. I think I changed the angle a little bit. There we go. All right, now I'm going to come over here to my vertical. I've done the first 3 sections. Another vertical. Horizontal, making sure it runs parallel to the other line. And you're copying it exactly the same angle. This will get really important when we do a more complex shape next. Go. And I'm continuing all the way around. Do my lines horizontal or vertical around the shape where my dots approximately are. Let's clean up our paper. I don't know what this thing looks like. Kind of an animal? I don't know. You can see there's a few lines to clean up. If you have a mechanical pencil, that's okay on these. And make sure you get rid of all your little crumbs, because if you don't, they'll make little dots all over your paper. It'll get very annoying. Wherever your eraser gets dirty too, it'll move it around on your paper. So it's sometimes, I hate these erasers sometimes because of that. But then other times they take it off quicker than the kneaded eraser. But the kneaded eraser leaves no tracks, so that's why a lot of people prefer them. Leaves no crumbs behind. You should have something. See how there's still some here from this guy? And it's marked the paper, so I can't get it off with the kneaded one. Hopefully you can put a nice box on like that, and it should look something close to this